I have found that there are these amazing things that my spirit guides help me with. Now, I have all these different spirit guides that come to me, but my personal purpose spirit guide, which is my ballerina fairy, is the one that has helped me the most recently. And I want to share with you what she wants me to share with you, because she has said it is time for me to start sharing with you the importance of why you need to connect with your purpose spirit guide, and that there are these amazing things that your spirit guide is doing for you if you just learn how to communicate and hear and receive the messages. All right, so I want to share with you, so let's get going. So there are so many amazing things that my purpose spirit guide helps me with that I want to share a little bit about my story on what she did for me, so you can understand that this can happen for you, okay? By connecting with your spirit guide, your purpose spirit guide, that you can have help in dealing with decisions when you find yourself in a challenge of which way to go, okay? To help you with gaining higher consciousness when you're in fear and you see yourself going around and around and around, or just having anxiety, worry. Your purpose spirit guide can help you with how do you overcome that, okay? My purpose spirit guide helps me with my next step to take, because often on this journey to find fulfillment, spiritual growth, manifest your purpose so you can have that meaning and fulfillment in your life, you can feel unclear on what that next step is. Well, all of those things my purpose spirit guide helps me with, and your purpose spirit guide can help you with that too. So let me start sharing with you a little bit about what my ballerina fairy has done for me, who is my purpose spirit guide, so you can understand what your purpose spirit guide can do for you. So my ballerina fairy spirit guide came to me in an image quite a few years ago. And in fact, I can't remember exactly how long. My wife actually asked me, how long ago did your ballerina fairy let herself be known? I said, I don't remember the exact date, but it's been a few years, okay? And she came to me and she would be like in my visions and meditation, and she would be, actually I wish I could make her move on the canvas, because she was like dancing around me, going around, and I could feel her joy and her energy. And she came with the message at that time for me to dance through life with joy. And the other one was to be you. Okay? And every time I would hear this be you, I'd wonder what that is. Like, I feel like I'm trying to be, be me. Do you have that feeling? Like you hear phrases like be your authentic self, be true to yourself, follow your heart's desires. But what I find is most people have a problem, I know I did, following and knowing what that even is. Is that you? Where you want to be authentic to yourself, you want to follow your heart's desires, but you're not even sure what that is. Well, when I started to commune with my ballerina fairy spirit guide, she kept giving me this repeated message, and I had to keep asking her, well, what exactly do you mean? I feel like I'm trying to be me, or that I am being me. And so she kept giving me more guidance on how, what being me was, what, being true to myself and my heart's desires, what that was, okay? And as I've continued to follow the guidance that I get from her, I become even more and more dancing through life with joy, being the true me, letting myself out. And when all that happened, and it's still a process now, I'm a work in progress, but, as I began to step into being me, I noticed I became more relaxed. Now, I don't know about you, but I grew up being tense pretty much my whole life. I thought it was the way I was wired. It happened many years ago where I had a shoulder injury, and I went to a physical therapist, and this was way back in my 20s. And I'd gone there for physical therapy several weeks, and finally she came up to me, she comes up to me and she pushes both of my shoulders down and says, relax. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I just thought, well, I'm made with my shoulders up like this, okay? Now, at that time, I wasn't I was doing my Buddhist practice of chanting, but I was not meditating every day. And I started meditating soon after that, and then I happened to walk by a mirror, and I happened to notice that my shoulders had like dropped. And I went, oh, okay, now I know what the physical therapist is talking about. So have you had anything like that where you just think it's the way you are, but you don't know that you're carrying extra tension? Or maybe you're someone who's anxious and you just think, well, it's how I am. And I will tell you that, yes, it's the habit you have, but it's actually not the true you, okay? And so the thing about your purpose spirit guide is she's here to obviously help you with your purpose, right? You might even be wondering, what is my purpose? I'd like to know what it is, or if you know kind of what you think it is, how do I move forward on it? How do I act on it? Well, your purpose spirit guide is here to help you with that. My ballerina fairy is helping with that daily, okay? But your purpose spirit guide is here, and this is the big aha I recently had, is that she or he or they, because we don't know what's, your purpose spirit guide may not be a person, it might be an animal, okay, whatever your purpose spirit guide is, they are here to help you with being your true self. Because in order to know what your purpose is, you have to start to become aware of when you're not being true to you, when you're not being what they call your authentic self, okay? And that's what your purpose spirit guide is here to help you with. Is here to help you with how do you start being true to yourself. So let me explain a little bit about what that is, because I know a lot of people don't know. So every time you do a should or what you think is a have to, you're not being true to yourself. Every time you bend or don't talk about something or let a person see a part of you, because you're afraid of what they'll think. So let me give you an example on that. I have met many women who are spiritual seekers who hide it from their significant other, their husband, because maybe he won't approve, or he'll think it's stupid, or he doesn't believe it. They actually keep it all hidden, okay? Now, your spouse doesn't have to agree or believe what you believe, or even have the same experience that you have, but you're hiding yourself, you're not being true to yourself if you don't actually talk about those particular things that are important to you. So if you're on the spiritual path and you're actually seeking to become like a Reiki master, or you want to have a relationship with your spirit guides and you keep it secret, then you're not being true to yourself, okay? Now, these are just a few examples. There's many ways where people aren't true to themselves. They do things that they don't really want to do out of obligation. That's another one. I had that for years. I went to, did things for my family out of obligation rather than that it was true in my heart. And sometimes it would make, well, not sometimes, because I did things out of obligation for many years when I was younger, I had anxiety, and I'd be rubbing my finger, and and I didn't know how to stop it back then. And so when I started to be true to myself and not do the things for my family out of obligation, but because I really truly wanted to, and that it was true in my heart, the anxiety went away. And so my purpose spirit guide, even though I didn't get to meet her for many years, and actually create this own portal of my own so that I can commune with her more actively, because the one thing about my personal spirit guide of my ballerina fairy that it does is it's right by my altar, and every time I sit down I see her and I remind myself, oh yes, I'm not alone. My ballerina fairy spirit guide is here with me, helping me dance through life with joy, do what's true in my heart, be my one true self, my authentic self, so that I can actually fulfill the purpose that I came here to actually be, do, and have. Because you're actually here for a purpose to be, do, and have, okay? So, what do you do to start to get connected with your purpose spirit guide? One of it is actually just saying, I'm open. Call in your spirit guide. I'm open to receiving and communing with my purpose spirit guide. It's one of the first steps you got to do. It sounds mundane, right? You mean I got to do say that? Okay? But that's what you start to do. Okay? That's like a first step, because you have to be open to start to receive the guidance that they're giving you, because your purpose spirit guide is here to give you higher consciousness guidance that will help you get beyond the programming that stops you from being your true self, from acting on, what's true for you, and that keeps you, you're that programming that you got when you were young and that you continue to get throughout your life is what keeps you from actually acting on your purpose, from following what's true for yourself, that keeps you in your shoulds and have-tos. It's about, like, how do I stop the shoulds and have-tos and do what's true? That's like one of the questions that I ask myself, thanks to my ballerina fairy spirit guide, is it true? She gave me that guidance to ask myself, is this true for me? And if it's not, I'm not supposed to do it. Now, in the beginning, I just used to ask, is it true? And I couldn't always get myself to do it. So I want you to understand that. But just the beginning of asking that started me down that path of being able to do it, okay? So the first thing you can do, like I said, is do that little prayer, be open, call in your purpose spirit guide. Now, if you're really like all in and serious and you really want to develop a relationship with your purpose spirit guide, because you're like, it's time for me to like stop doing the shoulds and have-tos and not being true to myself and actually acting on my purpose, please join me in my Connect to Your Purpose Spirit Guide program. I'll put the link in the show notes, and I'd love to have you there. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And I'm going to be continuing to talk to you about your purpose and being authentic and true to yourself, because my spirit guide guided me in that this is one of the most important things that you need to do to be happy, to be fulfilled, and to have more meaning in your life. All right? So I'll see you in that next video. Excuse me for my voice. All of a sudden it seemed to go like this. But anyway, I'll see you in that next video. Blessings. Have a miraculous day.